Okay, Bill, this way it started. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is a meeting of the Floresville Economic Development Corporation. This is December the 12th, 6 p.m. My name is Ray Lambert. With us we have our City Manager, Andy Jocelyn. We all have Mr. Gregory of the Wilson County News, David Delboski, Donald C., Roy Idrott, and our attorney, Sylvia Rodriguez. Roy, would you like to lead us in prayer?
Let's pray. Gracious Heavenly Father, we call upon you today to guide us about the decision that we're about to make. Lord, we ask you to guide us on this and make the best that is available for the citizens and those that we are going to help today. Lord, we ask you to take care of those that are in need, and take care of those that are sick, and take care of those that are most needed, that on this Christmas they will get some help and assistance. In the name of the Lord, with your Son and Holy Spirit, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Do we have any citizens' comments? Very well. Item number 1, old business. CNA to approve meeting minutes from the regular meeting held on November the 14th, 2022.
So I got a text message from Charlotte. She called in sick real early this morning with a stomach bug and asked that we table the minutes, that they were incomplete at the time. So
I move that we table the minutes to this meeting.
Second.
Motion by Donald, second by Mr. DeWolsey. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 2, presentation and discussion. A, y'all come back Prospect Steer Show. Wesley Fox.
Good evening. We just wanted to come by and personally thank y'all for the donation for the show that y'all donated to us. It helped us able to afford, some out-of-state judges. We had record numbers. This year we haven't had numbers like this in probably 6, 7, 8 years. I think we had over 500 entries between the 2 days. We had some thank you cards the kids all wrote for y'all. Where do you want me to leave these?
I'll put them in. I'll pass them out.
We just appreciate y'all's support,
Yes.
and with that, it helps grow and make the show bigger for the kids, for the community, for, the agricultural aspect of the community that we have. And it helps out a lot bringing in outside judges and just sponsorships like y'all provide for us. So we just want to say thank y'all.
Yeah. I think we had a total of almost 200 thank you cards that we passed out and mailed to all the sponsors and all that sponsored the shows. So it was a huge success, and we appreciate everything and hope for y'all's continued support next few years. So we did have several comments for people that were looking for hotel rooms, that all the hotel rooms were booked that weekend. So every hotel room was filled. So it was very good.
Great.
So
Great. Keep in mind the lodges that we have around here downtown also.
okay.
For your next event, and we've got some lodges pretty nearby.
Yeah, those were full, and I believe all these were full at the time.
Oh, well, that's a
Yeah, we gave them a list, but every hotel we checked with that weekend was full, even like Stockman and Roadside. And
Yes.
wow.
Every hotel room was was booked that weekend. I got a banner from Ben. We did put a big banner up in the middle of the ring. So everybody that was there did see y'all's name and everything. And it was promoted out there. So just wanted to come by and personally thank y'all.
Yep, appreciate it.
Thank you for support. Thank you.
Item B, hike and bike committee. Claudia Garza.
It's a presentation.
Good evening, members of the LDC, Mr. Reed, Mr. Lambert. I remember you a long time ago.
Yeah, been a while.
So, good evening. I'm currently the chairman. I have tonight with me Mr. Dave Regan. He is one of our advisory members, and our secretary, Annette Wong. So tonight, we're going to give you guys, I think, does the PowerPoint work tonight, Ben? Or are we just going to give you an overview?
We have a
what
copy
our-
of it.
Oh, okay, you have the slide. Okay, then I will turn it over to Mr. Regan, and he will give you the presentation.
Thank you, Claudia. Good evening. My name is Dave Regan. I'm the president of El Camino Real de los Tejas National Historic Trail Association, the chair of its local Trail de Flores chapter, and an advisor to the City Cycle and Bike Trail Committee. Claudia asked me to come and talk to you tonight about sort of aspirations the committee and our association has for the trail in the Floresville area. I don't really have time to go into the significance, historical significance of the trail system, 2,500 miles long, not only to Texas, but to the local area. Maybe we'll leave that to another time. Right now, I'm just going to focus on what's going on now or in the near future. A few years ago, the city started to pursue a grant from TxDOT, which they have now received, to pave a portion of the trail from Highway 97 to the beer warehouse. With the thought, and I think it's a good thought, that that would bring more people to the trail, because some people like the rural, the dirt trail as it originally was created, and some people won't use it unless it's paved. So we want to be able to try to share it with everybody. Anyways, at the time that the grant was being pursued, the city manager at the time in the committee asked me to come talk to them about the association's view on trail development. And so the presentation you have in front of you is essentially that presentation that I gave them. I'm going to go through it now. I don't have, since it's not on the screen, I can't tell you when I'm changing pages, so I'll just say next page. That's what I'm doing. So the first thing I want to do is create a vision. So why create a vision? Because essentially if left undone, many rail to trail conversions, which is what we have in Floresville, are stark straight lines. So you see the two pictures I have here are from our trail here in Floresville. This used to be a railroad. And of course at the time, the best way to get from A to B is in a straight line. So whenever possible that was done. It's not such a great experience for recreational trail users though. You don't want to just walk down a straight path. So what can we do? So we wanted to create a vision, a set of ideas that describes the end state of what we aspire to. I'm going to go to the next page. So what is the vision? The vision was to create an enjoyable trail user experience that increases recreational opportunities, educates the user about the trail history, attracts outdoor events, attracts cultural and recreational tourists, improves community aesthetics, and provides a transportation link to local cultural sites, businesses, and workplaces. And then I sort of asked them at the end, what else? What else could be in our vision? Next slide. We also discussed how the vision should take advantage of our rare opportunity of having a significant national historic trail run right through the city. That doesn't happen in many places, so we're very lucky to have that here. And the importance of having a clear and consistent branding. The National Park Service does a great job. You know when you're on one of the trails because you see their signage, certain color schemes, certain logos. We have that here. And they've been very helpful working with the association, myself, at the local committee on creating signs for the trail. the El Camino is a 2,500 mile long trail, and only a short portion of it goes through Floresville. So there's a potential for local branding on top of the National Park Service branding. So that was something we thought about in the vision. How can we further brand it to bring it more local? If you take for an example, some people may be familiar with the Howard Peak Trail System within San Antonio. It's a great natural trail system. Each section of that trail has its own little brand, so you know you're on that section. So when you're on the El Camino through Texas, we want to know we're on that National Park Service trail, but we also want to know we're on the section that goes through Floresville due to potential unique branding. Next page. The timing of the vision is important. Usually when you start a project, creating the vision comes first. So when we met a couple years ago, I think we left the meeting with a clear understanding we were all sort of like mind on what this vision would be. But it was never really codified. I'm not sure if that's a word the city would use, but it was never documented what that vision was, other than we have a presentation that was given. I think it's important to consider as we develop the trail, and we're just beginning now, but to have this vision codified so that whenever we move forward on future development, we're consistent with our aspirations for the future. Next slide. There are certain design elements, which was kind of the focus of this presentation, that makes the vision possible. So in many ways, understanding and agreeing on those trail design elements goes a long ways towards making the trail vision a reality. Next page. The next page, you'll see 3 photos of a trail. These are all within that San Antonio Howard Peak Trail System. So if you've been there, these may look familiar. If you haven't been there, I always recommend to people who are involved in trail development, go there, because it's a great blueprint, very successful, and it can be used where we want to be a guide for how we develop the trail here. As you recall, when I started, I kind of lamented on rail corridors being straight and boring. What you see in these pictures here, these are essentially winding trails through a straight area. So there is the potential versus having a straight path through an old rail corridor to kind of bend and twist to get more interest. And through strategic landscaping, you can actually make it so you don't necessarily see around the next corner. It provides a much more natural feel. It keeps you focused on what's in front of you versus what's down the trail. So that's part of the vision, is to create a more natural environment when possible. Another part of the design element in the vision is creating inviting meetup spaces. So on the next page, you'll see a couple of points on the trails in San Antonio that have these kind of nice places where you can gather. They create points of interest, and when strategically placed, become convenient places to meet others who are interested in going out on the trail with you. Next page. We also want to create educational opportunities. One of the goals of my association and the local chapter is to make the trail an outdoor classroom. We've begun to develop signage with the National Park Service that tells specific stories about the trail. We have 4 coming soon that will be installed. There's already some Texas historical and mission markers that tell stories about the trail. There's many more opportunities for other stories to tell. I've been in contact with local school system staff about trying to create some kind of a program that either brings the trail to the classroom or, my preference, the classroom to the trail. So we want to make sure part of the vision is to create these educational opportunities along the trail. Next page. I think it's also important to get people attracted to the trail to provide some kind of amenities. For those that may have been on the trail now, you're self-sufficient. There's no restrooms, there's no water. You just go and you have a good time, and hopefully everything goes well. But a lot of trails will have amenities such as water fountains. You see these pictures up here on the left. It's a bike service station. It's like a little air pump for people who use bikes on the trail. There's a water fountain, and the picture on the right is a emergency call box. So it's solar powered. You push a button, someone will come because they know where you are because you push that button. So those are some nice features to have on trails, either to make people safe or to make people feel like this is a place I'd like to be. Next page. It's also important in the vision to have clear orientation aids. Again, pictures from the Howard Peak system. Right now, well, I'd say a year ago, we didn't really have any. Right now, we have, through the National Park Service and our association, we developed 2 trailhead panels, one at the beer warehouse, one out at the golf course, that provides the new user an opportunity to see where I'm standing at the trailhead, where does it go, how long is it, and so they have some expectation of what's ahead. So it's important to make people safe, to make people want to go on to tell them about the trail. So we have one sort of at each end, having additional ones throughout the trail also helpful to tell you how much further you have to go and how far you went. So you see like the little pedestal aid on the left side there. It gives you kind of directional information in both coming and going. Next page. You know, on many trails, including this one here, first menu that usually pops up is a bench. Benches are fine, although I can tell you I've never seen anybody use the bench here. The benches on this trail. You know, they can, depending on what kind they are, wear out fast, and they become something you don't really want to sit on. So there are other ways of creating sitting places, relaxation spaces, and you'll see some pictures here which are relatively small. This was really meant to be on a screen somewhere, but there are, I think, better ways to create a space where someone might actually want to sit and relax. Next slide. There are a number of ways to provide people information on a trail. I gave you an example of these kiosks that are used everywhere. This isn't necessarily a design we've used on this trail, but it provides a way of providing a lot of information to people as they move down the trail. So go to the next page, please. So you'll see what one of the visions are is within these kind of in the round meeting spaces, potentially have some kind of informational kiosk in the middle. It could be a place where a classroom gathers around the seating area. There's some story told in the middle, and someone could relay that story. And there could be multiple of these sort of things along the trail. They could talk about the rancho. They could talk about the San Antonio Rancho Pass Railway. They could talk about the old ferry. There's a lot of stories that could be told as you move down the trail. So part of the vision is to try to create these little outdoor classroom areas, not only for children, but for adults too, who might want to learn about history. Next page. So when I spoke to them a few years ago, I asked them some questions to consider. So what roadblocks exist to realizing this vision? Of course, financial is always one, but there could be others. You have to get community support for such a thing, because it seemed like something they would want. Who are your partners? Of course, our association and the city are partners, but who else can be brought in as partners? And how can this vision be documented? I'm not really sure what the answer to that is, but I'm sure there's a way. So it's important to have a vision. We need to know where we're going before we start. It's important to have the trail develop consistent with that vision. And the vision should be codified somehow. And also free to be amended as the city's priorities change. So that was the presentation I provided to the committee. I think we left that meeting a few years ago all in agreement that this is the kind of things we'd like to see on the trail. Step one was the TxDOT grant that was paving part of the trail, and some of these things could be integrated into it later, as long as they don't do things now that prevent that from happening later. So, you know, having this vision that says this is what we aspire to. I also want to take a moment to thank the FEDC for the support they provided the association back in April for our annual meeting. I think it was a great event here in Floresville, and without your support, it wouldn't have happened. That's the end of my presentation.
Just want to say a couple of things. I just wanted to mention there's a couple of there's actually 3 members that aren't here tonight. Sylvia and Leo Arocha, and allergies and all that stuff is around. And then Mrs. Rachel Trevino, she's currently on her way back to Texas with her family. So saying that, I wanted to express also our thanks to FEDC for sponsoring the grant. And I can only think, and we envision, I'm very visual, so until we can see some really, designs and things like that, so we can all share and look at, I think it's going to be a really amazing thing for the city of Floresville. So we wanted to say thank you. I just have a couple of little things from us to you guys to pass out. But it's Christmas, so I wanted to hand out a little something to you for all your hard work and for us staying together and seeing this vision take place, along with Mr. Andy over here, who's been our mentor. So we appreciate his help, and Cindy and your staff as well. So with that, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I just want to say on behalf of the board, thank you for coming in today. I know the one thing we talked about, Claudia, is we've been going around and just putting faces with names so we can see kind of who we're helping. And for the record, we came up and the board stepped up and is going to take care of the 20%. I think it equated to $235,000 to pay the 20%. So TxDOT will pay 80%. We'll pay the other 20% at no cost to any taxpayers in the city. I'll do it done through sales tax. So tell people to keep shopping so we can continue to improve our parks and maybe put some of these things in, like Mr. Reagan said. I was at that presentation a couple of years back, and I know TxDOT does it there with, as we can maybe adhere or change some things or add in those sitting areas, we can work with them in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we look forward to it. So
Yes.
thank you.
So thank you for
Let me get my
coming.
little-
Yeah, get your treats.
See the
There you go.
depot eventually get incorporated into the whole.
Thank you so much. Oh, you're welcome. Just a little something.
David, you can't open after Christmas. Huh?
Okay.
Right.
Well, that'd be the only thing I get.
Make sure y'all get something different.
Definitely only on you.
So, yeah. Good, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
And the fact that it goes from 97
Candy?
instead of
You might be
We'll
going
let
back
you
to
have
people
some.
that-
Here, give it to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
and you got
Yeah,
something
and
to
one
build
to,
on.
Charlotte? Okay, I'll do that.
Continue.
Okay, yes, definitely.
Okay.
Because
We're done.
eventually
Thank
it'll
you.
hopefully to the goal.
Okay, moving on, the presentation number C, financial overview of November 2022 from Mr. Rodriguez.
Good evening, Mr. President and city managers and board members and those here present. Back a few months ago, I was talking to Andy and I told him that sometime after October, we'll probably see a pivot point. And being really late, but we start seeing now some of those things. So the budget for the year is $1.3 million, close to that, 295,000. We're up to 206,000 as part of the budget. On page 3, here is where our pivot point starts showing up after over 18 months, so monthly increase and higher than previous year. For the first time now, we have a shortage of about $5,000. So the October collection, it was up 9%, and the one for November was 102, but the previous month was $104,000. So the amount collected for the same month last year was 108,648, and the amount collected in this current year is 102, and this created a close to 5.5% from the previous month. We're still ahead, but it is a sign that the economy is slowing down, and Walmart announced that they will be hiring 70% of the people that they hired for Christmas from last year. So that means that they also expect that people getting more careful how they spend the money for Christmas. So we stand right now, the amount collected for the same month, 102, and the under is by $5,000, $6,000. The amount collected for the same period last year was $187,000, and the amount collected for this year is $206,000. So we still up by $9,000. So we're not going to show us a concern with the budget.
Yeah, and I've been talking to Andy, we monitor that, we have monthly meetings, and we kind of talk about it daily and weekly, but the numbers came in for next month, and just so you're aware, this is 2 months back, so really, we won't see our December numbers until probably February of next year, but next month, we've superseded what we were like, we were at $76,032, and we collected 89, which is 13,215 above, so we're at 17.3% collected next month. So it's kind of an iffy wave that we're on. I don't know if it has to do with gas prices and stimulus checks running out and stuff like that. This holiday season is going to be one to really keep an eye on so we can set the standard moving forward. So that's good news coming in next month, we're up.
Oh, yeah, well, and then construction keep on going up, and houses keep on selling. $500,000 homes are up by 7.5%. So there's more homes, so there's still a lot of money flowing out there, which is good. So it depends on what side of the street you are.
Any other questions?
Any questions about the checks and expenses on the page 1, 2, and 3, page 2? All the checks that I have signed and paperwork have my initial on it, and they match the funds of this page for. So I haven't found no discrepancy on those checks or any issues with that.
Ben, this Jura Designs, that's who upkeeps our
Webpage.
webpage. Is that a set monthly amount, or is it by
By
the amount
hours.
of work that they do?
Yeah, and then depending on what guidelines come through the state, saying that they have to redo our web system. Like the other day, we got hacked, so everyone's emailed on the city side. We use documentation on both ends. They use Barcom and documentation, but Drura sets all those guidelines with Barcom and make sure everything's there. But yeah, everything from the website and things that be upgraded on there, making sure our agendas are up on our page, videos are posted. And that's something we can look at in the future as well.
It's not a huge amount. I was just curious, since that's who updates it. We've got a few things that probably they're working on updating.
They are currently. Mhm. You're correct. Like,
The freedom mowing, is that?
so freedom mowing is what we do whenever we have a little lot back there. 2 bills got lost from last year. So we paid them back that $60 for that lot over there by USDA. So we have them cut it again so it looked nice when we had the ribbon cutting. And he edges that curve for us. That main edge of that curve is a lot of the work. With the, it sits there in a couple months, the grass grows over. And then as part of it, he comes in and just blows everything down, cleans everything up for the market days, and then cleans up afterwards.
So is this going to be part of that whole mowing announcement thing?
The one lot will be part of it, but the one where he comes and cleans up for the market days,
Market days.
it comes out of market days, so that's just his company name, and he blows, weeds, just tidies up the areas that need to be tidied up that maybe we haven't got to, or the city cuts the grass along C Street, and then sometimes if they can't get to it and we need to get to it for the thing, I'll get that tidied up around the basketball courts and everything where they park. That's not part of our property we own, just so it looks nice for the market.
And is the announcement on the paper yet for the?
Yeah, first of the year, we pushed it back. I was gonna announce that, we pushed that back, so we have that in the demo, everything go out first of the year, just with the city being closed for the holidays and a lot of things going on, it's better just to put out first of the year and start fresh. So nothing's been lowered or anything. It's kind of grown and stayed for the last almost month and a half.
Quite a bit less than what we paid previously to clean up those lots. I mean, that's a,
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just for the, like, Phelps Building downtown.
right.
Yep. Well, we were under budget on our low end and stuff last year, or right on budget. I think we were over at the industrial park on a couple grand.
Any more questions?
Very well.
Thank you, Roy.
Under new business, CNA to approve the facade and signage grants for Carmen Kennedy Health.
That's you, Ian. We're not gonna approve the grant tonight. Ian, I'm gonna butcher this. Ian Bach.
Wow.
Yeah, butcher it.
He did butcher it.
Ikamba.
Yeah.
Ikamba. See, I butchered. I told you.
It's not good.
Ikamba. So, I'm just gonna call you Ian.
Yep.
Ian. I'm gonna take that off. Ian. So Ian and I has been our guinea pig, and we've been talking about this as far as like with this new process when we transitioned over and been very, very patient because he has a deadline. He has people on top of him, not just from his boss, but from his board of directors. Hey, you got the signage grant in, and take care of that. I think y'all been working on the building, what, 60 days now?
Yeah, no, it's been a while, but
Yeah.
you know, you guys have been nothing but you know, hospital and with the whole process, and you know, you've been patient with me, so.
Yeah, we've been patient. It came in a very early process when we were talking about doing it. It said, hey, just hold off. Yeah, I know you got it. Don't stop your construction. Get going because we have a big ribbon cutting tomorrow that they had set a deadline. And I said, we'll work out our kinks with this, and we talked about that. I think whenever we did our grant, we talked about certain things as far as like whenever we were doing like the laundromat and decent, like, okay, we'll just have them fill out the new process. I think you asked that, Donald, when they, or one of y'all, David or Don, one of y'all asked that, saying, hey, when we do it, I said, no, they're gonna have to go through the new process, but we're gonna try to transition them over from what they filled out in the past, but have them go through the new process. But today, there is no action item, so I'm making a recommendation to table it. One of the hardest things that we're finding to get when, like, they rent is to get that letter signed by a big corporation to, like, they got permission to do it, but get that letter saying they got permission to put that signage up has been unique, so. My motion is, my recommendation is just to table it for now.
When did our new process begin? New fiscal year?
No, as soon as we did it, we did it when Sylvia, was at Sylvia, when Sylvia updated it, so her.
Which was when?
I believe 2 weeks ago, Charlotte, we got the email. I don't know the exact date. Charlotte's not here today, so I can't misspeak. Around Sylvia, would you have on maybe your email you can pull up when you emailed Charlotte? But then Charlotte reformatted it because it came from an iPad to a Dell. She reformatted it, got it done, and we sent the new version out to everyone this last week. I believe the end of last week, Monday. To redo the application from the old one to the new one. And I have that list here. It was.
But did we ever make a decision? I think it's only fair that people who began the process before the rules changed continue to be considered under the old guidelines. I mean, I don't think did we ever really make a decision?
We didn't. All I was instructed, which Charlotte went in through the minutes and she went through the audio. She said was to just have them go, still be considered, but fill out the new paperwork.
So. Now, it was on their own accord that they didn't show up to the meetings to go through the process. That's kind of a little bit different situation than others that we said, you know, it was already the end of the budget year. We didn't have a lot of money left in the budget.
That's for a future,
to refer them.
We can put that for a future agenda item to talk about. If y'all want to bring them in here and tell them, no, we can definitely do that. It says in this new thing that the FEDC has a sole discretion to determine which projects are approved. So if we do that, I'd like to bring them in and give them that, or at least draft a letter and have our attorney send it out.
Yeah.
I think that would be the best option. I don't see the purpose of bringing them in to tell them no.
Or do it, but have that talk. We can put it in January. or call a special meeting?
There was actually a workshop on September the 22nd.
So we,
And then we started sending off a draft of the agreement and the application to everyone there.
In what meeting, did we, remember there was a meeting that we actually voted on?
It will probably be after the September 24th. Let's look and see that, because that's when I have been following. Please find a copy of the grant approval agreement form for your consideration. That was 2 days after you guys had a workshop. Your workshop was on September the 22nd, 2022. And then I sent out the agreement 2 days later and said, here you go. Ben, Charlotte, look at it and stuff of that nature. So let me look and see. I'll see if I can find a minute somewhere around there as well.
Possibly, I seem to remember October, not that it matters for this.
You're probably correct on that.
Since it's tabled at this point, but even the previous ones, if you go by the old guidelines on application process.
we put everything
Pretty
to a halt
clear.
until we told everyone until we got the application worked out to go by the new one, and that's what we are the assumption and we were going by. To stay continuous, and that's what me and you are working through, to wait till the new paperwork came out, go by the new paperwork. I believe Diana, she's not here, but I want to speak for her. She was saying, well, we still want to make sure the ones that were doing the work had the opportunity to still apply during the transition process.
It says special meeting of October 17th, item 3F, consideration and action to approve the revised facade and signage grant application.
What date was that?
That was the October 17th.
That's what I seem to remember.
October 17th.
And to be fair to the new businesses that are coming in and pumping money into our economy, I was trying to find our guidelines today, and we approved that, you said October 17th, and still in our website, we've got the old one approved in 2015.
We haven't, up until this last week when Charlotte finally got it revised, just emailed it to David Drewer to update it, so it's been less than a week.
I understand that point, but why has it been since October 17th?
I can't
to
speak for
December?
Charlotte, she's not here. and she's
You
been
have to
working.
speak for Charlotte, you're her supervisor.
Okay, well, Charlotte's been working with David Drewer, she's been working with Sylvia, and I will speak for Charlotte on behalf of, there's been some technical difficulty to get the form right, because with her system that she did to our Dell system wasn't going right, so we finally got those kinks worked out with David Drewer to get it, and that was done last week, so we started sending that application out.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That is correct. And there was concerns that I think some of the lineage and didn't add up, and I guess our systems were not compatible. And then I know that we even spoke about last week, Mr. Del Bosque, about which one goes first and stuff of that nature.
Right.
But yes, you did approve it. It does say that there actually was a motion to approve the minutes to make it effective for the pending applications made by you, Mr. Del Bosque, second by Mr. Brewitt. And the vote was a 6-0. One was absent. Sorry, Mr. Hydrock, you were absent on that one. But everybody else voted, Mr. Lambert, Mr. Brewitt, Deanna, Mr. Del Bosque, Mr. C, and Hannah all voted to approve it at that point.
Yeah, so if we can do the timeline, we were off for Halloween, we were missing a week through Thanksgiving, so we've only been able to work on this from the 17th, now probably about 3.5, maybe 4 weeks at the most. And then I had taken some days off, and Charlotte had taken some personal days off. And so with those work days, I think we're right on track to get the signage out by the first of the year and work with the ones that we had that previous list to get those done. Today we ran into a hiccup because we didn't have the signature from HED. Or we would have that in today. So if we can get a motion to table this item, then maybe he could speak about his company, that'd be great.
We have a motion to
Started
table.
dealing with the hashtags.
Make a motion that we table this so the application is complete.
A motion by Don,
Second.
second by Roy. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
And we did have that, thank you, Sylvia. I don't know, Andy, we were shut down because they hacked our system and weren't able to use our system for, I forget how many days within that period.
More importantly, you got it right now.
Yeah, we got it.
It's done.
Yeah. So,
Very well.
well, here, you have the floor.
All right.
Yeah.
My name's Ian Kamba. I'm the chief staff of Carmen Kidney Health, so that's more administrative. I'm here with Christina Rain, our social worker. If you would like to meet the rest of our team, we hope you see everyone in this room. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Throughout the whole day, we'll be doing tours of our clinic, so you can get to see the love and work and effort and tears that we put into this clinic to serve the citizens of Floresville. What we want to do is bring effective, dignified care for the people of Floresville who suffer from chronic kidney disease, and also give awareness to the kidney. So we'll be doing free kidney screenings as one of our services. We've already piloted that. We have partnered with Conviva at the very beginning of this year. We were doing free kidney screenings on Tuesdays. But now that we have our own full official location, we'll be doing those free kidney screenings in our location. We hope to see everyone there. Yeah, that's as much as I can so far. And then I guess since we tabled this, I'll see you guys again. So. Awesome.
Sounds good, thank you very much. Item B, under new business, city to approve the resignation of board member Hannah Doogie.
See in your packet, I have an email and a text message from Hannah, for those that maybe didn't get the text message that were asking about it.
You get that?
I did. Something talking about the details.
On this one, I'm thinking, Ben, you probably need a motion to accept, vote on it, and then you can advise the city council, since they are the ones that appoint the individual, advise of that opening due to this resignation.
Since we accepted, I can't advise them until we accept it tonight.
Yes.
What are the, I mean, I'm just curious that she added new insight, and it's her decision to, stay or go, but from what I understand, it wasn't completely her decision.
I just probably need a motion, a second, and then we can go into
Yes.
citizens' comments to follow Robert's Rules of Order.
That is correct, sir.
We can't discuss on it until we get a motion. Second.
I don't think there's any action other
No,
than to
accept
accept
it, not to
the
discuss.
resignation.
Okay.
Make a motion to accept Hannah Doogie's resignation.
Motion by Donald,
Well, second.
second by David. Moving to citizens' comments. With no comments, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes.
Mr. Lambert, did
Yes, sir.
did we establish a quorum?
We did.
We did.
We did? Okay.
I even checked your name off.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and then
must have been
Atlanta
sleeping
texted
through
that
that.
she was running 15 minutes late. So,
Right.
but,
Slip right through that.
So future agenda items, maybe we can revisit and just clarify everything in January with the application. That'd be a good thing to put on there, I would assume, since there's some,
Well, I mean, is it pertinent or is it?
well, it's an open living document, because some of it, I had a question, like when it says, like on the first page, when I give out this, I read the whole thing, and I said the facade grant, and of course you read it and reread it, you think you have it right. It says, I'm aware the facade is a signage reimbursement, so that can be really a lot of open-ended, so how pertinent do you want to make it? So,
No, what I'm talking about is, are the people who we turned away last year due to budgetary constraints, we told them to come back and see us after the new fiscal year. And my point is, did those people get a chance, that it wasn't their fault, that, you know.
Yeah, so I have that
Rules
list.
changed while they're doing their waiting period.
Yeah. We have two that were part of it and didn't show up, right? So that's the first one.
That's
The
another
second
separate
one,
issue.
I have a list of like, Carmen and the people at Blue Casa Village and the Euphorium with the Top Hatters and the Southern Boutique, Southern Tejana Boutique, and the ribbon cutters we've done. They bought some signage that they said maybe could be part of like banners for future signage use. That I told them to save those receipts and have those in here as we go through that. So they have this new application process. I'll get some clarification on, the biggest thing is notice to proceed. Like, are those notices counting? Like with Sylvia, we talked about that today. Is that emails, text messages, phone calls, documentation? And then moving forward, we have our notice to proceed with anybody new, which that's set in stone as of right now, because we want to have really everything in place by 2023, but not turn people away and make them wait a whole nother month. Because we want to be progressive, board to continue to help businesses.
Well, I don't understand why we have to make them wait till if somebody's got an
Yeah.
application, they
We
want to
can
turn
bring
it
them.
in.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
We are accepting applications based on this year's budget
Yeah, exactly.
and with the new parameters.
Mhm.
Okay, gotcha.
Perfect. Then we'll just leave it at that and move forward, keep moving forward and bringing them in. Any of us have any future agenda items?
So we'll get
Have a motion?
the,
No, we don't need a motion.
we are eligible to
No action.
reappoint.
Item number 4,
Any,
Lana was joined by Lana. at
so I guess we'll just say no action, Ray? No action.
6:47.
Then we can go to closed session.
All right.
Leanna, what time is it? We'll say when she came.
6:47.
6:47. Thank you.
So do we help with item number 4?
Yes, sir. We're going to need a motion and a vote on this, and you are asking to go into executive session in accordance with the Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, more particularly as outlined in our agenda under subsection A. The board will meet in executive session pursuant to section 551.075 of the Texas Government Code to deliberate about real property located on Highway 181 within the city of Floresville, and also subject to subsection B. The board will meet in executive session once again pursuant to section 551.075 to deliberate about real property which is located on Hospital Boulevard. After that, you will do another motion to reconvene back in open and then cast your vote. So what we need is a motion to go into executive session and then a vote and a time, please.
Have a motion?
Make a motion that we adjourn to executive session.
Motion by David,
Second?
second by Donald. All those in favor? Opposed? 6:48.
5-0.
Yes.
6:48.
Okay, 6:48, so let's go on that.